Today we are discussing the idea that Zelda Ocarina of Time could indeed be Nintendo's next big remake, slated to likely come to next generation hardware, although we don't have any kind of official confirmation that this is indeed a project, but we've had hints and interviews that we have covered previously on the channel, where Zelda series producer Eiji Aonuma shot down the idea of Zelda Dungeon Maker, but then did not shoot down the idea of an Ocarina of Time remake, just said no comment amongst all of the rumors online. They also, of course, were mentioning the fact that Raru is a very notable character that likely nowadays fans would not know who that character was, referencing his importance in Ocarina of Time and kind of insinuating that it would be nice if modern fans did know of his significance. And you might remember that early last year, we did see a big leak from the Lego company that actually showcased a Deku Tree set that at first the legitimacy of these images were questioned, but later it was revealed that Lego was giving copyright strikes out to people on YouTube that were actually covering this and showing it as an image in their videos, confirming the existence of it being a real image. And now we have a credible Lego leaker revealing that this set is indeed planned to come to market and that it will actually be coming as of September 2024. And I want to focus in on that timeline because if you've kept up with any of the recent rumors and reports around Nintendo and what they may be planning for their next generation hardware, September specifically is a month we've talked about in great detail due to the recent AI Shark, previously known as Game Shark, leak at CES 2024, which maybe they had good info, maybe they didn't, but they were claiming that in their actual press release that they were going to be bringing their new product to market alongside of the Nintendo Switch 2 release on September of 2024. And this also lines up with a ton of various credible sources that are saying that they're hearing things like Nintendo is planning to launch their next generation hardware in the second half of 2024, and it might be earlier into that second half. And is there possibly a world where Nintendo would either want to reveal or potentially even launch something like an Ocarina of Time remake on Nintendo's next-gen hardware to showcase what the system is capable of? And we're going to unpack all of those details. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And we're first going to start off over at Nintendo Life, where you can see their typed up article outlining the details of the Deku Tree leak and why we might believe that this is somehow tied to a larger marketing plan from Nintendo and the Legend of Zelda team. Lego Zelda Deku Tree set rumors resurface online. Early last year, there was a rumor going around about Lego working on a Legend of Zelda Deku Tree set. Now in an update, the well-known Lego leaker and Instagram user 1414 Falcon Fan is claiming the set will arrive this September and will contain 2,500 pieces. The rumor stems from a marketing survey about several future Lego projects. The original story also suggested this same set could be a 2-in-1 build based on the tree's appearance in Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. The images of the set previously shared are no longer viewable online. This indicates the removal of various videos featuring the rumored set after Lego issued copyright strikes. Now, I want to be clear, just because Nintendo and Lego are in an ongoing partnership with numerous different franchises at this point, in fact, we have a number of different Mario sets already available. We know Animal Crossing is coming out March 1st of this year in 2024, and now Legend of Zelda is next up on the list. And yes, indeed, the Deku Tree that was in the survey images did have two versions, one referencing the version in Breath of the Wild, but the other one was very much just the Ocarina of Time Deku Tree with Ocarina of Time characters as far as what was included in the Lego pieces. But just because they are pulling from that era of history, it does not in any way, shape, or form confirm that this is tied into some larger marketing scheme from Nintendo around the revival of Ocarina of Time. But when you look at it from a logic-based perspective, I do think it is a question of when, not if, when it comes to a full-on Ocarina of Time remake. Because yes, we did see Ocarina of Time get a full-on remaster on the 3DS, where they updated the textures, made things look a lot nicer, and did some basic quality of life improvements. And I don't know about you guys, but I always had the feeling that Ocarina of Time was really remastered on the wrong console due to the fact that you could only play it in handheld mode, and you really couldn't appreciate how nice the textures actually look because it is running at a pretty low base resolution on the 3DS. And with how iconic of a game that Ocarina of Time is, still holding the highest Metacritic score of a game ever hit in history, period, and really what it did for 3D gaming as a whole with the Z targeting feature, and not not to mention just merging the kind of storytelling into a 3D world alongside of the action and combat and grand adventure that they created within that game, with conquering all of the dungeons, going between child and adult Link, and literally introducing time travel into the world, which was really not a common thing in games back then, especially at that scale. And it does seem to me that Nintendo at some point in time will want to bring this back again to modern audiences, but is not something that is just a retouching of the textures and an HD upres, but rather really add in some new core content and even remake some of the core fundamentals of this game and not use the same base engine and even mechanics that we had from the original N64 game. And I do wonder if September is really going to be set as a massive month for Nintendo in 2024, with them likely holding some kind of direct presentation, potentially launching new hardware the exact same month. And then we see this promotional Legend of Zelda Lego set, which will be the first Zelda Lego set ever in history, come out, and likely Nintendo will give us official confirmation of that ahead of time, Nintendo and the Lego company, I should say. And I just wonder if it's going to be marketed alongside something else Zelda. It may not be Ocarina of Time Remake this year, but it also very well could be, and we might at least get some kind of a glimpse that it is in the pipeline for a future release, something like a 2025 or 2026 even. If you stop and think about the development time for new mainline 3D Zeldas, we are about 6 to 7 years apart on average from them lately. So I wonder if that's the same gap that we have to wait for now that Tears of the Kingdom is totally wrapped up. There's no DLC left in the pipeline for it, and we should absolutely be shifting our expectations to see what Nintendo has next for us Zelda fans. And I do think some ports, remasters, and even remakes will be the games that will tie us over while we're waiting for Eiji Aonuma and team to create the next from the ground up original 3D Zelda experience. And I am certainly hopeful that Ocarina of Time Remake is somewhere in that conversation. Again, it might not be a launch game with Nintendo Switch 2. It very well could be. I think it'd be a great project to actually throw out there and have launch the console and have kind of be the graphical showpiece of what the new hardware is capable of. If they really go for almost a Wii U Twilight Princess tech demo type of style for the visuals, I think something like that could be absolutely incredible for an Ocarina of Time Remake. And it could really showcase the power of the new console and be a multi-million seller day one, but they also could be planning it for later on in the Switch 2's life cycle. So we will have to wait and see for all of this, but that's where I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, your personal thoughts and opinions on whether or not you think we will see any kind of official announcement for an Ocarina of Time Remake in the year of 2024 or beyond. Do you think that this Lego set, being the Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time, gives us any kind of hint that Nintendo is planning something big again for this classic title in the modern day? Or do you think that these are entirely separate events, and just because we are getting the Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time most likely out in September of this year, that it doesn't signify that Nintendo is planning to do anything anytime in the foreseeable future for a classic game like Ocarina of Time? But regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before we leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch the video on screen next if you haven't already. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.